So today I'm at BMW Motorcycles of Atlanta, based in Marietta, and I've just had my bike serviced, as you can see here.
How you doing, young man?
Yeah, good, thank you. It's a pretty big workshop, as you can see, and the bike's done 668 miles prior to service, and no problems with the service whatsoever. Bob Henderson is the master mechanic here. He's a Ducati and BMW master mechanic, and he's done all my servicing on my Ducatis for me and tuning, and he's just done the first service on the bike. Says there's no problems whatsoever. It's plugged in the Enduro Pro plug, which is sat underneath the seat, and that gives an extra off-road riding mode. And I believe for the 2017 exclusive and rally models, it also gives them the hill start control. I'm not certain about that. My brother's just bought one, so perhaps he'll confirm for me, and I can confirm that to you. If you're watching this, John, I hope you're loving the new GS exclusive. It's certainly a very pretty looking bike. Certainly love my triple black. There's a quick look at the workshop in there. You can just see Bob in the background working on a white GSA, and it's a fully equipped workshop, and they're good guys here. They know exactly what they're doing. So they have pretty comprehensive clothing department here. Lots of stuff from Schuberth, Shui, Oxford products, Olympia and Climb. I really like my Climb suit and gloves. That's been a great purchase. And over here they've got all the scramblers, and there's a whole dedicated scrambler section, which is pretty cool, with all the scrambler clothing and stuff. Pretty cool little bikes. There's a fantastic bike in the workshop actually, which is the new Desert Sled, and that's a pretty cool machine. The new Ducati Desert Sled. Nice. Pretty tall, but very nice. I like it a lot. Feels good. And in the showroom they've got the 2017 BMW R9T in motorsport colours. Look gorgeous, that. The new GS12, of course, with hill control and new damping in the suspension, and also the drive. K1600 GT, similar updates, and of course a bunch of Huskies and the smaller Multistradas in the Ducati line. Had the big Panigale there, as well as the smaller 899 in a nice white colour. And in fact, talking of white, the new RT in 2017, pure white colour, and plenty of the new scramblers, including the Desert Sled, as we mentioned, and even a Multistrada for the kids. So how did the big GS Adventure feel after its first service? Well, it felt instantly smoother, which a lot of people say after a service their bike feels kind of generally better and smoother. But really, with the first service, we're pretty much kicking tyres, changing a couple of filters and the oil. So I was quite surprised that it did actually feel quite slick and kind of more responsive straight after the service. I don't know if Bob, the master mechanic, did any software updates to it. It's possible that there could have been a couple of pushes but generally the bike felt the same, just they're a little bit smoother, a little bit more controlled, and it's starting to kind of sound nicer revving it out. The only question I had of the mechanic really was that I'm fairly used to the air oil cooled sound of the 1100s, 1150 and 1200 boxers, and the wet heads, the liquid cooled versions. When they come on the cam at about 3,500 revs, they've got quite a growl to them, quite a bark, but it always sounds kind of rattly, a bit like a little ends. Small end bearing is a miss, but apparently they all sound like that, sir, or so they say. Apparently there's a kind of X-up style power valve in the exhaust, and when that flap opens now, it does create a different sound, a different resonance, and apparently there's nothing to worry about. So I'll take the master mechanic's advice on that one. But in terms of the how the bike is feeling, it feels really good now. I've put a few more miles on it since this first service, and it's already up to nearly 1,000 miles now, I think, actually. It came in for the service at 668, and it's starting to feel very slick. There's plenty of top end power, but to be honest with you, I rarely dip into that whatsoever, even when I'm riding pretty spiritedly with friends. I'm really usually only tooling around at about 5,000 revs, and at those revs there's more than enough torque and power to dispatch with tin boxes and keep up with some fairly decent riders. So that's one of the beauties about the GS, is the both the standard GS and the GSA, is just how effortlessly you're able to cover the miles, because it's both comfortable and deceptively quick. In actual fact, they're still quite low revving bikes at the end of the day, but they are producing decent horsepower now. We're not talking Ducati top of the range power, but we are still talking 125 horsepower and plenty of torque to go with it. So if you know how to ride, that's more than suffice on today's roads, where you've got other vehicles and pedestrians and police cars and other things that you'd sooner not interface with. But once you get out in the mountains and the open roads, you can explore a little bit of its performance, and it is a great fun machine. It's certainly great over distance, and that's really what I wanted the bike for. If you are looking for, if you're a big guy, I'm like 6'2" and 250 pounds. If you are that kind of stature, you need a big bike really, and particularly if you like taking passengers or luggage or both, and particularly if you like covering distance, you're going to need a big bike, whether that's a Harley Tourer, whether that's a dedicated full-on tourer like an RT, whether that's something with a bit more character and individual kind of style, for want of a better expression, like an adventure bike or some other alternative. That's really in the eye of the beholder. That's kind of up to you, but in terms of all-round ability, something that is going to be reliable for a long time and can effortlessly dispatch miles, providing you with lots of creature comforts and loads of control and convenience. It's really genuinely hard to beat the BMW GS range, and perhaps in particular for that type of use, the adventure variant is really the daddy. There are sportier bikes, there are faster bikes, there are bikes that are good at one thing or another, but when you look at everything that the GS does it very, very competently, and in lots of the magazine tests with adventure bikes, it invariably comes out top.